And so I've shared my journey very publicly for many years. A lot of that stuff has disappeared because channels got shut down around 2020, 2021. But I wanted to make this video because a lot of times people that share what I share, and you see only one side. You see when we're at our best. You see when we're flowing and glowing and rising and shining. Let me show you this foggy, misty day. And I have always shared the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. I've shared when I'm at my worst, and I've shared when I'm at my best. This is all relative terms, of course. And today I just feel there's just a feeling of sadness for no reason. There's a melancholy. There's a feeling of like worthlessness. There's a feeling of, like I had 20 years of addictions, and there's this feeling very easily like I could have fallen into a depression. And outwardly and in life and in the life circumstances, there's absolutely nothing that would, if you try to look for a cause, there's absolutely no thing that you could point to that would describe why that would be. There's absolutely nothing in the life externally that would warrant this idea of why you would feel sad, why you would feel like you fall into depression. Actually, outwardly, if you took, most people would say that there would be no reason whatsoever to be sad, to be depressed. I have a beautiful family, a beautiful wife, beautiful son. We live how we want to live. We've been blessed recently with some financial abundance. We're choosing how we live. We're choosing where we want to live. We have absolute freedom. And still yet, there's this feeling of sadness. There's this feeling of melancholy. And I wanted to, come on and do this video because I haven't done it for a while, because it just hasn't happened for a while. And there's a part of me that didn't want to share that. And so that's when I feel an edge like that, that's when I know it's time to share. And I know this will pass, but how often do you get people that share the stuff that we share here, share these moments? I don't see it very often. Maybe it's there, I'm sure it is, but I don't see it very often, so I want to share it. Because I know if I'm feeling it, there's a good possibility that some others are feeling it. And the masculine part of me wants to say, find a reason. Find whatever it is, fix it, and then you're fine again. But there is nothing to find. When we're sensitive and empathic, we connect with deep human emotion. We connect with the collective of humanity and beyond. And the ability to feel the depths of emotions is a gift. And even when it doesn't seem to directly relate to our life, our worldly experience, we're connecting into potential. And the important thing is, for this one, is that before in life, of course, I didn't have this vocabulary, I didn't have this understanding, I wouldn't have any awareness of this. And what would happen is I would stay there. This screen, there we go. Is I would stay there feeling sorry for myself, stay there feeling, well, I suppose in time of addictions, I'd reach for substances or whatever to try and dull this pain. that I had no idea why. I mean, that there I could have pointed to lots of reasons, now I can't, so it's interesting. And that's why I want to document this, is that before I could point to certain things as to why I would feel the way I'm feeling, and now there's no obvious reasons. And so to just accept that and just to honor the feeling and just allow the feeling of sadness, allow the feeling of the potential of depression just to be there. So I sat in meditation this morning, and it was like every part of me I got up at like 5, and not every part of me, a little part of me just wanted to go back to bed and hide. A little part of me definitely didn't want to come outside and go for a walk. And this is part of part of my journey, is like, whenever there's that little part of you, that small part of you that wants to hide, that part of you that wants to stop, part of you that wants to blame the world for something that you can't even point to, I've now discovered is always beneficial to go the other way. It's the body saying don't go for a walk in nature, which I know is always, there's never a time I've went for a walk in nature and thought when I go back, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. There's never a time when you meditate or do yoga or whatever the thing is for you, work out, eat well, interact with positive and beneficial. There's never a time that you do that and you think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. There's never a time where it feels like we all know what works for us. It's not about right or wrong. We all know what works for us. But there's a part of us, a self-destructive part in the human, that continuously, and the world is set up, like we shared many times, the world is set up to point us away and to direct us away and to distract us from the truth of who we are. And that part of us that makes us want to eat food that doesn't make us feel well, that makes us want to consume things that actually consume us, wants to possess things that possess us, that takes us, that says, don't go out and go for a walk, lay in bed and hide. That's the part that wants to, it doesn't want to be seen. It wants to, there is a self-destructive, I'm not saying this for everyone, there is a self-destructive tendency. And I heard the word self-loathing. So I'm just going to share the process as it comes. And this last night, like I started feeling this last night. A very, very minor nothing thing seemed to trigger it. But that's, again, I'm not even going to point to it because it's not that. But I started writing last night. I wanted to start writing things to be grateful for, things to appreciate. When I started this feeling, it's always good to get a perspective. What beautiful things they have in my life, and it's like very easy to do that. It's so easy to do that because I have so many blessings in my life, so many beautiful beings in my life. I'm blessed in so many ways. That's very easy to do that, even when I'm feeling this, whatever this is. But as I wrote, I have to read it again today because I rarely remember what I write, especially if it's in the morning. But this was last night. It started off with this appreciation and gratitude, and then it veered into this kind of, I want to read it today, but I know I have the feeling it was like this kind of dark, melancholic kind of poetry. And I know there's a part of the ego is dying, because what was coming there was this willingness and this want of this part to die, of this lower part of me to die, to dissolve. And there was kind of this dark, melancholic poetry. Don't even know if I'll be able to read the writing. It was coming quick. And these like ego deaths, they can feel really real. What I mean by that is it can really feel like you are dying. Who you are, who we are, can never die. But when we go through ego deaths, which I feel this is some form of again, which has happened many times, it can really feel like we are dying. And in truth, a part of our perception of ourselves is dying. But that identity was never who we are. But it feels like it. It can feel very real. It can feel, sometimes you can feel literally, you need to go to the hospital, you need to, it can feel like on a physical level. But when we're able to share openly, vulnerably, like even as I share now, this energy is completely lifting. I can feel a weight lifting off my shoulders. There's still the fog, and it's really cool looking at 11:11. I love these like foggy mornings. Reminds me of Ireland. Foggy mornings in the forest. But that energy is already lifting. And I'm not doing this to lift the energy. I'm not doing it to try and fix something. Although there was the seeing of that part that wanted to find a reason and fix it. That lower masculine energy. But I'm just sharing to share. Just to share because I don't see it very often. And because Martin didn't want to do it. And because there's very interesting. I'm hearing words, but I'm not really feeling it. It's like I hear the words, there's guilt and shame. There's guilt and shame of sharing vulnerably, sharing the low points, sharing the darkness, sharing when you're feeling like shit, sharing when you're feeling like you want to end it all. And I'm hearing that, but it's like a distant echo because I'm not afraid to share any of this. I'm very open to share. It's just, it hasn't been happening for a long time, really. So I think it's good today to get back to that. And like what I was touching on earlier, what would have happened before is I would stay there, and I'd stay there and get lost in a loop, the little per me loop. And now I'm just sharing it here, and just feel an energy like rising from my heart now, physical heart. It's like a heaviness coming off the physical heart. And even if no one ever sees this, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. It's just a sharing for sharing's sake. It's just a being open, being vulnerable, being true as to what is appearing. And it's not absolute truth. Like darkness, depression, loneliness, melancholy, they're just relative experiences. The truth of who we are is untouched by any human emotion. But we came here, apparently, those of us who feel this, not to go through it on our own, not to hide away, but to share it openly and vulnerably, to share our light and to share our darkness, and know that none of them are who we truly are. They're just momentary rising and falling potentials within this human dream. But if we can share, it's easy to share when we're at our quote best. It's easy to share when we're flowing and inspired and everything is like the juice is moving through us, the energy is moving through us. And I actually, like, it's easier, let's say. But I don't find this difficult. But I think maybe some people could find this difficult to share when you're not feeling at your best, when when you haven't slept well, when you're feeling sad, feeling the old familiar feeling of depression coming over, when you're feeling like you want to give up, when you're feeling like it's not worth it, when you're feeling like the poor me, you're feeling like the victim, coming to share in an open space like this where others can see it, where they're maybe used to only seeing you in one sort of way. It's quite easy for me, but I'm sure it's probably not quite easy for everyone. So I just like to continue in this way. And I share when it's shit, and I share when it's shiny. It's just that for a long time it's just been so much more shiny than shit. And so, yeah. Come down to my little spot here because it was a bit because this was a little bit wet. I wanted to sit at the tree. It was good to get a little walk and talk. Let's see if I can. Oh, you can't switch this around. Let's see if you can see these beautiful. So this has been a little sharing of dancing in the dark or with the dark. I can't remember what they called it. Whatever it was called, dancing with the dark. So if you hear these words and you can relate to this, and maybe you're experiencing something similar, I would just invite you and encourage you to do the opposite of what the little me says. If it's telling you to hide, go be seen, go get out. If it's telling you not to do something that you know in your heart of hearts is good for you, getting out for a walk, doing yoga, running, swimming, connecting with people that are in a different space, because nothing loves misery like company. And this, when you're in this dark place, all you want to do is like put on some Netflix or some TV show or something that's going to distract you and give you an emotional outlet without you doing it. You'll watch others go through emotional stuff, or you'll see violent things, or you'll see whatever it has to be. I mean, I don't do that very little anymore, but I mean, we don't have Netflix or any of those things, but there's still ways in which it can become. And if we allow whatever is appearing to move through us naturally, move through us in nature, it will nurture us. If we outsource it to something consuming us on social media rather than creating this is, I mean, the role of creator here. But if we're being consumed by what we consume, watching other people's lives, I suppose that's what's happening here as well, but in the way where it's not done, where it's done to distract you, where it's done to entertain you, which means entrain you to someone else's ideas. And of course, again, I'm doing this here, but I'm sharing it not with the intention of bringing you down or lifting you up. I'm just sharing it because I'm sharing. But if there's an intention to shock you, or an intention to put you in fear, or put you in want, or to sell you something, or to try and influence you to take certain actions, the little me loves that. Tell me what to do, tell me what will make it better, tell me what to buy, tell me what to eat, tell me what to drink, tell me where to go, tell me who, show me this one that will save me, give me the answer that's outside of myself, give me that savior, give me that politic, blood-sucking parasite, politic, give me relief. We don't need relief. We don't need anything. But if we allow whatever it is appearing in our life to move through us naturally in its natural course, without diverting it through distraction, diverting it through substances, diverting it through, it can be relationships or sex or gambling or trauma bonding, or getting someone or one other or a group of people that agree with us and will, join us in our misery, that will confirm the poor me. Again, this wasn't the intention, But I just feel so completely light, empty, neutral now. So there it is. I didn't do this to try and get rid of sadness. I didn't try and do this to lift depression. I didn't do this. I did it because the little me didn't want to do it. I did it because I know whatever the little me that's feeling sad, depressed, melancholy says is to continue its experience of that. And the truth of me knows what is truly beneficial for me. So, yes, I would invite you to share. I invite you to connect with people who can see life differently, not just people in an echo chamber that will always agree with you. It's interesting, like in this, if I put up a post on some social media feeds where I would list a load of ascension symptoms and this is bad and I feel this and all the, you'll get so much comments and engagement and things with that. If you say this is sore, that's sore, all of these stories, you get so much engagement and interaction with that. But if you put up, I'll just leave it there. You just notice what gets the most engagement. Why is that? Only every individual can answer that. But yes, I feel we're complete. I feel completely different. So this has been a little sharing of whatever it was called, Dancing with the Dark. And it was, again, it's just to be completely vulnerable, completely authentic, completely real and raw, exactly as it is. And it is as it is. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm getting mosquito bites here. I have been connecting with the consciousness of mosquitoes to try and make peace, but we haven't brokered a deal yet. But yeah, if this has served you and helped you, I am pleased. I'm happy, and I hope if even one person feels this way and encourages them to do something different to what they've done before, that is a blessing indeed. So we'll leave it there. Until next time, from my heart to yours. The divine in me sees, loves, and honors the divine in you. Namaste. We are. Ciao. This doesn't want to end.